What's up, superfans? It is Fit Nerd from Superheroes Ultimate. Welcome to another episode of Heroes Finest, where we discuss, review, and reveal all of the latest and the greatest in the superhero realm. And finally, after nearly a year of Marvel drought, we are getting a 2-episode night with WandaVision. Finally, the wait is over, and the multiverse has broken loose. After waiting so long, we finally get some Marvel back in our lives, and WandaVision is one of those shows which is actually more important than people really think.
You're a madman.
Now, of course, we're going to go through a bunch of spoilers in the first 2 episodes and even some in the 3rd episode. A lot of the ratings that you will be seeing on either IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, a lot of people have already seen the first 3 episodes, not just 2. And many of the reviewers, if you guys have seen the first 2 episodes, and if you have not, right now is the time to pause, like, subscribe, and come back to this video. So, last chance, if you haven't seen the episodes, this is your spoiler warning. The first 2 episodes start out with a theme of the 1950s, 60s shows, such as I Dream of Jeannie or I Love Lucy, all of the old school Nick at Night type shows. Now, WandaVision is very important to the MCU, not only because it's actually the first of the new Marvel Phase 4, but also because it's actually the seed towards everything that will be happening in the next few years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And how they're doing that is they're taking source material from the storyline of House of M, the 2015 Vision, and the original stories from Wanda and Vision, and taking all those sources and pile them together into this one show. Now, the first 2 episodes were filled with Easter eggs. Now, I'm not going to cover all of them because there's way too many to actually discuss in one single video, but I'll cover all of the most important ones that are leading into the future movies that are coming up in the MCU, which includes Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness caused by Wanda Maximoff, as well as the possibility of the introduction of mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And not only will this show lead up into that, but it could actually lead up into the events that are going to happen in the Loki show. It could lead up into the events that happen in the Spider-Man 3 movie, leading up to actually the different multiverse Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse itself. This show is the seed of the entire next phase of Marvel. So as far as how big and how important this show is going to be and is currently, is why everyone has been waiting so long and why they had to actually release it in a timely fashion. This show is worth the wait, and if you guys find the first 2 episodes very weird, that's okay. It's gonna pay off to leading up to everything that's gonna happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So put in your tinfoil hats and get ready for some weird stuff that's about to happen in the multiverse. Now, taking a look at the ratings on IMDb, which is currently holding at a 7.7 out of 10, I did take a sneak peek at the cast themselves. Now, I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing yet that I went and looked at the whole cast, but when you look at the whole cast, we have Elizabeth Olsen obviously as Wanda Maximoff, we have Paul Bettany as the Vision, we have Kathryn Hahn as Agnes. Now, Agnes is the first one when I look at the cast, maybe an Easter egg towards maybe one of the villains of Scarlet Witch from the comics. And then we have Sean Berenge, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, which is one of the tactical sword agents. And if you look at the first and last episode where they pan out and you see the monitors and you see the logos on the side that is monitoring what is going on with Wanda. As we go down the list on the cast, we see Tayane, which is Monica Rambeau, which is possible she is working with Sword. Then we also see the Randall Park is also part of this series. Now, the last time we saw Randall Park as the character of Jimmy Woo, he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he was watching over Paul Rudd's Ant-Man while under house arrest. Not only that, but we also see that Kat Dennings is also part of the cast, which is Darcy Lewis, and the last time we saw her was in the Thor movies. It's pretty clear that throughout the first 2 episodes, Wanda does know that something is off, and she's not in complete control of what's going on. Now, the thing about the storyline of the House of M is that she alters the entire reality of the Earth. She basically gets rid of all of the mutants, most of the mutants on the earth. Throughout the movies in the past, Wanda has shown that she is quite powerful, especially when she went on the showdown with Thanos and nearly beat him. This is really just a tiny little taste of her true power that she is really capable of.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
Technically, she is actually one of the most powerful characters in the entire MCU because her true ability is to actually control and warp reality as she sees fit. And by those standards, technically she could bring back anyone she wants to life because she controls reality. Now, if you missed some of the most important Easter eggs, like a hint at the Mind Stone in the magic show, or those neat little commercials in between, which is an old school way that shows did it back in the day. We have the toaster oven made by Stark Industries, which, as you can recall from the previous MCU movies, Stark and Wanda haven't had the greatest of relationships. We had the Strucker commercial with the Hydra logo in the middle of the watch, and his name Strucker is actually one of the leaders of Hydra, who's actually possessed the Mind Stone and helped unleash the powers of Wanda and Pietro. Being unleashed on Disney Plus from the Marvel Cinematic Universe is being utilized as a seed, kind of like the first Iron Man movie, into everything that's going to happen. And even though it feels like the first 2 episodes are starting kind of slow, when you really look at all of the Easter eggs, it's going to be a huge payoff at either the middle of the season or the end of the season, with new Marvel characters that are going to be both in the shows and movies. And it's no surprise that it's being highly rated. If you go into Rotten Tomatoes, right now it's currently at a 97% average on the tomato meter from critics and 84% average from the audience. And just by the first 2 to 3 episodes, I happen to agree with this rating, and I won't be surprised if it actually reaches 100%. So far, the show is incredibly entertaining, has an incredibly great comedic appeal. Now, clearly our very first sneak peek of S.W.O.R.D. was originally back in Spider-Man Far From Home end credit scene when Samuel Jackson is on the ship. And let's not forget that weird beekeeper guy that came out of the sewers with the S.W.O.R.D. logo on the back. Now, this could either be one of the agents of S.W.O.R.D. trying to get to Wanda to snap out of it because she's completely lost her mind and is warping all of reality around her, or it could be hinting out that AIM is also trying to infiltrate. We shall see in some of the future episodes. The show is off to an amazing start, and I can't wait to see more. There you have it, guys. WandaVision is awesome. I rated an 8 out of 10 for sure. I might even rate it higher than that as the season progresses. So stay tuned. Remember to give us a like, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next. This is FitNerd. Over and out.